2025 Subaru Forester First Look, All New SUV sprouts actual style. One of the best compact SUVs returns with a few course corrections and a new model we've wanted for years. If Subaru actually took risks, we might say the most shocking things about the 2025 Subaru Forester SUV are its WRX-sourced turbocharged powertrain and now standard third-row seat. But the all-new model has neither of those things. It comes from a brand that prefers to stay the course, delivering exactly what its customers want and expect. And so the 2025 Subaru Forester enhances the outgoing model's advantages, from its reputation for safety to its all-around visibility and spaciousness. You want sporty? Get a Dodge Hornet. But if you want a very well-rounded mainstream 5-seat compact SUV, the 2025 Forester appears compelling. Now with 25% more design. Ahead of viewing the 2025 Subaru Forester Sport and Touring models, we didn't expect to spend so much time thinking about its design. This is a Forester, after all, an against-the-grain SUV known for its superb visibility in an industry full of swoopy sheet metal and tiny windows that can make everyday maneuvers difficult. The 2025 Forester is still upright and easy to see out of, but the package is more styled than ever before. From headlight to taillight, the 2025 Forester is more interesting to behold, with its larger grille, enlarged badge, black trim on the A and D pillars, chunky wheel well flares, and more expressive sheet metal. In back, partially clear taillight elements make an impression. Different elements change as you ascend the 2025 Forester's lineup, which moves through base, premium, sport, limited, and touring trims. From 50 feet, the overall look is fine, but as with most Subarus it gets a bit too busy once you get close enough to pick through the detailing. The lineup isn't complete. It will eventually also include an off-road ready wilderness model and a Forester hybrid, a model Europeans have had for years. Less power, more of what matters. Until the hybrid model arrives, every 2025 Forester is powered by a 180 HP, 178 lb-foot 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. That's 2 horsepower fewer and 2 lb-ft more than before, and we expect fuel economy to roughly match the last model's 26-33 mpg city/highway ratings. It's possible the 2025 Forester will be slightly less efficient given it's slightly heavier to help it meet new safety standards, though. The 2025 Forester should hit 60 miles per hour in around 8.7 seconds, just behind a 2023 Forester Touring that we clocked to 60 in 8.5. If the 2025 Forester can meet that time, it'll keep up with a non-hybrid Honda CR-V, 8.7 seconds, and be slightly outpaced by a non-hybrid Toyota RAV4, 8.3 seconds. The other way to look at these numbers is to completely ignore them. Because although we all need passing power sometimes, quick and sporty performance is not the Forester's forte, same goes for most of its competitors. More crucially, Subaru says the 2025 Forester is quieter and rides better, and the automaker has worked on seat comfort. Maybe that doesn't sound exciting, but those are exactly the types of improvements that matter in the mundane driving scenarios most customers will endure day in and day out. Subaru also says both the steering and AWD systems are more responsive than before. Yes, the latter remains standard on every trim. The same is true for a CVT automatic, which is programmed for smoothness most of the time but will simulate a conventional automatic's gear shifts at wide open throttle. Subaru promises the transmission is quieter now. All 2025 Foresters also get incline start assist, which prevents the SUV from drifting backward on a hill by briefly holding the brakes before you press the accelerator pedal. On the sport trim and higher, a dual-function X-mode system expands the range of conditions the AWD system can tackle, but let's be honest, its primary purpose is to make many buyers feel like they're going on an adventure even if their biggest trek is through a rainy Whole Foods parking lot. Tech, what it has and what's missing. Here's something we saw coming. Most 2025 Subaru Foresters get an infotainment system with a 11.6-inch vertically oriented touchscreen. That's the same setup you'll find in most Subarus, including the Impreza, Crosstrek, Outback, Legacy, and Ascent. Subaru has also made meaningful improvements to the display's programming, layout, and logic since our year-long evaluation of a 2020 Outback. Some Motor Trend editors prefer horizontal displays over vertical ones, and even Tesla has moved on from the portrait-style layout. However, if you must go vertical, this is a decent system. We wish we could say that about more automakers' infotainment setups. With the new big screen, the 2025 Forester is the latest Subaru to go nearly knobless. We'll miss the outgoing Forester's 5 center stack knobs, an old-school approach we hope will come back into vogue. For now, we have a volume knob, tuning knob, and physical but flat buttons for temperature control. On the screen, you'll find digital buttons for fan speed as well as heated and, on the Touring, ventilated seats. The 2025 Forester Touring also snags leather seats with micro-suede inserts. The Forester Touring also gets a feature that reminds us of BMW's gesture control tech. In Subaru's case, this is bundled with the driver focus distraction mitigation system. In the past, we've found the system itself distracting in the overbearing way it detects and alerts you to your distraction. It's possible the tech has improved, but for now our focus is instead on how it allows you to change the air temperature with hand gestures. Sounds like a fun, chuckle-worthy trick to show a passenger more than it does a useful piece of tech. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are bundled with the 11.6-inch screen that's on most trims. As in other Subarus, two 7.0-inch screens take its place on base models. While not strictly technology, we want to mention a Forester feature we're glad to see return, the giant glass roof. As before, a large glass panel uninterrupted by a pillar tops most Foresters. It's a bit of a reach to pull the cover forward, but the glass should allow rear seat passengers to see more trees overhead than they might in, say, a CR-V. One feature we wish the 2025 Forester offered, at least on the top Touring trim, is a digital driver display. Using a familiar gauge layout, a smaller digital display sandwiched by an analog tachometer and speedometer probably saves money. In our experience driving many other Subarus with the same setup, the small screen is well designed. A utility-focused SUV like the Forester may not need such tech, but if Subaru wants to attract more first-time buyers to the brand, it may be a wise addition on this trim when the SUV is updated in a few years. The top dog Touring does, however, include a 360-degree camera. That's a cool feature addition, although we're told it lacks a front-wheel focused view. Over the course of our year driving a 2023 Mazda CX-50, that SUV's well-executed 360-degree camera was a real highlight. Dimensions, cargo space. These days, we're used to newly redesigned vehicles getting bigger. But Subaru understands that a larger package isn't always better. Making it bigger is not really the point, said Bill Stokes, car line planning manager for the 2025 Forester. That's why the 2025 Subaru Forester is just 0.6 inch longer, now 183.3, and 0.5 inch wider, 72.0. Height and ground clearance are unchanged at 68.1 and 8.7 inches, and the wheelbase is still 105.1 inches. Cargo space is up to 29.6 cubic feet from 28.9, a useful improvement in the practically shaped compartment but still behind the Toyota RAV4, 37.6, and Honda CR-V, 39.3. In a boxy, Forester-sized nutshell. The well-rounded Subaru Forester has always prioritized comfort and visibility over sportiness and style. The 2025 Forester doesn't mess much with this formula, even if the Forester has a more expressive look that some will embrace while others see as too much. We suspect that until the hybrid and wilderness models arrive, most buyers will appreciate the 2025 Forester's other strengths. Even in a segment with more than a dozen competitors, big power or sizzle aren't necessary. When the core of your vehicle is strong and you quickly sell every example you build, as Subaru has for the past 2 years, you don't need to try hard to impress.